your boy Pitts from Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio, Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, coming to you live with Coach Bernard Clark Jr., aka Tiger, head coach at Robert Morris University. Good morning, Coach. How you doing today?
I'm doing outstanding, Pitch. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I am doing magnificent.
Good.
You're
Good
so
deal.
lucky. I wasn't able to get that video of you dancing in the locker room from last weekend, but I am going to get it.
Yeah, you can get it. Doesn't bother me. It's crazy you say that because you know my man Alex. The last one you posted, Alex posted it too. Alex like, Coach, I had to do it to you. I said, no, I did it to myself. I knew it was gonna get posted. You're all right, so it's good to go.
But I got to do a compare and contrast, to see if you advanced in your you advanced from that first one to the second one.
Let me tell you, so all my moves are from the 80s and the 90s. Period. I'm not doing the gritty. I'm not doing any of these new dances, whatever they call them. All my moves is from the 80s and the 90s.
You definitely was dancing like you was on a Greek set.
Somebody told me I channeled my inner. I won't say the fraternity, but somebody said that's what I channeled when I was doing that. I said, okay, I got you. I won't say the fraternity.
So my wow for your wow is my wow. I'm striving to get that video.
There you go. I got you. The crazy part is, I know we're gonna start talking about it. I know you're gonna ask me how practice is going. Monday was, like I said, okay. Tuesday wasn't good at all. I didn't like Tuesday's practice, so I had to introduce another word of the week. To add to the one we had, because of I just thought that Tuesday's practice, our guys went on the field with a mindset of, it's the end of the year, let's just get through this. And so I added mindset, to the word of the week. Mindset is the established set of attitudes held by someone. The established set of attitudes held by someone. And the crazy thing about that, when you say the established set of attitudes, everybody knows attitude is based upon how you feel about something. So when you go on the field, what are you thinking about? What's important to you? What's your mindset when you step on that? Are you striving to finish this season strong? Are you striving to send these seniors out on a good note? Are you striving to give your best no matter what? And so I had to change mindset, because yesterday I started practicing. God, it starts right now. Before you walked on the field, I said, your mindset needs to change right now, that you're going to work as hard as you can to become the player you need to be for this game in order for us to win this game. So I had to add mindset to it this week, Coach.
So was it more so that, do you think because it's the last game of the season, they're wind down, they're getting laxed? They know there's no after Saturday, there's no tomorrow as far as coming back and practicing, because that weighs a lot on a player, especially when it's their last game. For those who it's their last game, their mindset is intact typically. But those who are coming back, they're like, didn't go well this year, start working forward to next year. Is it that type of mindset?
I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but it's crazy that you say that, because there's a video, and it's on X, and formerly known as Twitter, and the head coach for the Jets, and he talks about the 4 types of competitors, and he talks about the survivor, the contender, the competitor, and the commander. And what it boils down to, if you're a true competitor, if your mindset is I'm a true competitor, you're going out there to compete. It ain't got nothing to do with if it's the last game, the first game, if it's your first start, your second start, if you're not a starter. If you're a competitor, you're a competitor. And that's what it boils down to. So I'm not sure what their mindset was. Like you said, I think the seniors are where they need to be at as far as going out and knowing, hey, this is my last game I may be playing, period, as opposed to the guys who are staying behind. But I wanted them to make sure that they understood we're going out there to compete. We're going out there to win on Saturday. We're not going out there just to get through the game. So I wanted them to make sure that their mindset was in the right place and understand what we're striving for.
Well, it's sad, but in my opinion, I think that when it comes to the mindset of football, it has drastically changed in the younger generations coming up. Football, before all the big money started rolling in, football was the passion that no matter what occurred, you've always left it on the field, to where now I think it has become a selfish game, to where players sometimes are more concerned individually, statistically, than they are team-wise win-losses. Because it amazes me when a team lose and players are looking for photo ops.
Yeah, but I think And again, you're talking in general. You're not talking about everyone, obviously, because we know
Right.
there are competitors out there. But what it boils down to, it goes back to you and I. We talked about this before. To me, it has more to do with how media treats everyone and how they make it an individual sport as opposed to a team sport. And how they
Absolutely.
say Tom Brady 7-0 in Super Bowl, he has 7 Super Bowls, but they don't talk about the center that snapped the ball to Tom Brady having 6 Super Bowls and the other one having one. They don't talk about, prime example is with James Harden. I think James Harden is an unbelievable basketball player, but this is just my opinion. I think James Harden is more concerned about accolades than he is about championships. And I think that's the toughest thing. When you get a Larry Bird, you get a Magic Johnson, they were concerned with their accolades, which helped them lead to championships. They
Right.
weren't concerned about how many points they can get unless they were winning the game with set amount of points. And I think that's the biggest issue nowadays. A lot of young men, not all, but a lot of young men are more concerned about how do I look, as opposed to how am I playing to help this team win a championship and put them in a different uh, atmosphere as far as my attitude goes. So that's what it boils down to. It goes back to mindset, like I said. And I think a lot of guys' mindset, because of how media is, and it all started when they started talking about who's the greatest player in the world when it comes to basketball. And
Yeah.
everybody talks about it going on. I don't get into the argument because everybody changed the narrative. You start talking about championships, then you name Bill Russell. Well, no, that was a different era. You start
Right.
talking about strength. Oh, no. You start talking about points. Well, no. So everybody moves the goalposts, but it
Yes.
doesn't fit their narrative. So what it boils down to, the simple fact that I believe that the media has put guys in an isolated situation where they think that what they're doing, the team can't do without, as opposed to
Right.
what they're doing is contributing to the team's win.
Well, it's funny that you said that, and I won't labor here long, but you bring up a good point because when people talk about, who was the greatest safeties, and I think that the difference, or in basketball, right? I think the difference is that the times and the way they played is completely different than
Mm-hmm.
now. So what I mean by that is, someone may say that, oh, Antonio Brown, and I'm just throwing numbers out there,
Right.
he was able to, 2,100 yard receiving yards and 20 something touchdowns. Well, we also got to look at how the game has shifted, how the
Absolutely.
game has shifted to make it easier. And, in my opinion, to make it easier for offensive players to do such things,
Mm-hmm.
because the game is catered to whether it's the defensive penalties, whether it's the holding, whatever it is. I feel that the game has catered to offensive players to make it easier statistically for their stats to go up. Not including the fact that we now play a 17 game season in the NFL to where before it was less. So so I don't think a lot of those things it's not equated into the decision. And then when it comes to, the LeBrons, the MJs, the Birds, the Kobe's, the Magics, they all played in different eras. Because if you ask me, the players that played now in basketball couldn't play in the era when Rasheed Wallace and them was playing. These players don't like to be touched,
Right.
right? These players do not like physicality.
Right.
Now, I don't think that the era of Rasheed and them can play in this era because this era is a lot more finesse and quicker. So I feel like it's a give and take on both sides. And I think that when we start giving that comparison, I think we need to do it in those eras. Like who was the best in this era, not versus saying they were the greatest of all time. Who was the greatest of that era? Because I feel like it's an unfair and unbalanced type of conversation when it comes to it. Not when you don't insert all those particulars that matter.
I agree with you. And I've always said this to people before. Gronk is an unbelievable tight end. Outstanding,
Absolutely.
great player. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But Gronk's also 6'7", runs a 4'6", and weighs 260 pounds and can't be touched by anyone after 5 yards. So of course he's going to be able to do a lot of things. Whereas if you played in the days of Ronnie Lott, when you're able to jam a guy all the way downfield to where the quarterback until the ball goes into the air, it's totally different. I mean, you can say what you want. It's just a totally different. When you can't touch Odell Beckham Jr. after 5 yards and he runs a 4.2, you got to make sure you're staying on top of them. You got to make sure you can't put your hands on them. You got to put yourself in position. So it's like you said, it's a different era of football. And I'm not taking anything away. These guys are outstanding football players. They're outstanding athletes. They're great at their craft. There's no ifs, ands,
Yes,
or buts about that. But and again, this is my opinion, just like everything's your opinion. This is
right,
not fact. There's no facts behind this, and I'm not getting into an argument with anyone behind this. This is just how I
absolutely,
feel about the situation that's going on. I mean, to me, Bill Russell, 10 championships, kind of mean a little something. You start talking about championships. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won high school championships, college championships, and pro championships. So he's kind of a champion. So I mean, he may need to be mentioned in the greatest of all time also. So, but it's like you said, different eras. I mean, they changed the game because of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You couldn't dunk in college. So again, you're talking about a great player who changed the game. And so to me, all those things have to be weighed in. But then again, like you said, it guys go back to what's going on now. So let's weigh in. Let's stop getting into an argument about who's the greatest, because I'm not taking away from LeBron's greatness by calling Michael Jordan great, because both of them are great basketball players. If you don't see their greatness, then that's your fault. That's not my fault. But both of them are great players. And just because I call one great doesn't mean the other one isn't great. Just means they're both great players. Kobe was a great player. So was Magic Johnson. So was Larry Bird. So we can go on and on and on and on and
right,
on. Bottom line is, one's greatness doesn't take away from the other's greatness, because they're all professional athletes.
absolutely. And when we talk about greatness, you yourself had some greatness on field moments as well. So you're also to be commended for all the work that you've done. Your accolades, they mount up just like anybody else's. And I believe that everything that you've accomplished off the field, I've been able to see firsthand what you pour into your players on the field, and it's no different. The competitor that you had as a player is the same competitor that you are as a coach, just different hats.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it. And we're not even putting me in the class with those guys when you talk about accolades. But I appreciate it. And again, part of being humble is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. So
Yeah,
that's what it boils down. So I'm humble, and I humbly accept what you're saying about me. I really appreciate that. But it's a situation where I'm still passionate about what I do. I have
yeah.
a passion for what I do, and that's what drives my passion, trying to create better men, better husbands, and better fathers. And those things are extremely important to me. So I still have a passion for what I do, and that's why I still speak passionately about that.
And let's go ahead and transition to this week's game. And I know we
Mhm.
talked a bit early on, and you said that you weren't too thrilled about practice on Tuesday because the mindset just didn't match with the wow intended. Was we're striving, but we're striving with the and in my opinion, not your words, a weak mindset, a not focused mindset.
Mhm.
So therefore, this week we have the two wows. We have the strive and mindset. Our mindset. We're striving with our mindset. How did the rest of the practice go on? Well, how did Wednesday, and then of course you haven't gotten to today, but I'm interested because when you talk about mindset, and then I talked a little early on about the players who are seniors versus the players who are coming back. We could talk too because we didn't get into our injury report.
Right.
Thriving. So, how's Beck? How's Chickett, and then how is Tyler? Are any of those guys able to suit up this week?
Well, no, they will not be. So
Mm,
I'm gonna take that back. Connor will suit up, but Tyler's not
okay.
suiting up, and neither is Chicken. So Zach's going to be our starting quarterback this week, unless something happens and they let us know by Friday that Chicken can go. As of
Okay.
right, Chicken won't be going. So Zach's going to be the starting quarterback this week, and the other guys are back. So that's the positive thing. Our offensive linemen that gave us some minutes last week, they're able to give us some minutes this week. They may not be the starters, but they're able to give us some minutes, which is strong and which is something good for us, something
Right.
outstanding for us. And to answer your question, yesterday's practice was better. And as I walked around the field and I talked to different guys, and I said, "Did you guys understand what I was saying in the meeting?" Yes, coach, because I felt the same way. I felt like all the guys aren't focused where they need to be. And I'm not talking about the physical aspect of practice.
Right.
I'm talking about the mental aspect of practice
Right.
and the mindset of not getting those, you and I talk about it, those mental reps, standing on the sideline, goofing around, joking, not getting better at something every time they step on the field. I always say when you go to practice, make sure you do three things. Let's make sure you go full speed. Let's
Mhm.
listen to what the coach says. Let's not argue with the coach on the field. Ask him afterwards, and let's get better at something every day. Are you getting better with your hand placement? Are you getting better with your back pedal? Are you getting better with your footwork? I'm sorry, your footwork. What do you have going on? So those things become extremely important when you step on the field. And I didn't think those things were there. But yesterday's practice, you could see them flying around. You could see them communicating better with each other, talking verbally, talking to the guy next to them. Hey, you need to be doing this. Get lined up here. And so yesterday's practice to me was a much more improved than what it was on Tuesday. And let's hope today, that mindset is right where we need to have it, and we're striving to finish up the way we need to finish up.
So it's an encouraging 24 hours.
It was a curve in 24 hours. Not only that, it helped me get over this daggum cold that I had. But you talking about kicking my behind. But NyQuil is a miracle drug. I don't care what nobody says. NyQuil is something special.
But it is why I put you to sleep. The max strength. But as we focus a little bit more on this Saturday being the last home game, senior day, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Absolutely.
um, and I know we talked about it before. How many seniors do you have walking this year?
We have about 10 walking. We have more than that, but we have about 10 walking because, you have guys that they're not sure if they're coming back next year because of injury or whatever situation may be.
Right.
Have guys that want to walk because they're not sure they're going to be. So it's kind of crazy. I think we have about 10 to 12 walking, to be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure, but I know I'm taking about 10 guys out to dinner. And the reason I say that, because I take all the seniors out, they have graduated, they have their degree in their hands. I take those guys out to dinner, and we're actually going to go to brunch on Sunday at this place called The Yard and sit down and enjoy a
Mm,
meal with each other.
downtown.
No, the one here, the one in Robinson. He has two
Oh,
of them.
okay.
Yeah,
Think
actually, the owner of the yard, he's a former running back for Robert Morris University. His name is Mike Allen, him and some partners. And so he has one in Robinson and he has one downtown. So I met him when I first got here. We've been pretty good friends ever since.
think I need to make a trip, this weekend and go get some brunch at the yard.
Come on, hang out in the yard. Come on, hang out in the yard. But no, and the thing about it, we got a team coming in here, Coach, that these guys are 7-3. These
Mm,
guys are 3-2 in the conference right now. They have an opportunity to go 4-2 in the conference, go 8-3, and probably put themselves in a position to try to get to the playoffs. And this
right.
team has 23 seniors, based on what the coaches
Ooh,
said. Yeah, they have
wow.
3 seniors, and they have a freshman running back who's gained over 200 yards rushing in 2 games this year. So this team is coming in here, and they're finishing. They started out slow, and now they've won their last 3 games. So they're coming in here with the mindset of, one, trying to get to the playoffs, two, sending their seniors off right, 23 seniors off right. So we got to have that mindset of sending our seniors off right, putting ourselves in a position to finish the season 3-0. Even though we'll be 5-6, we'll finish 3-0, which would catapult us into the offseason to get things going the way we need to get them going. So I'm excited about that. So we both have something to fight for. We both have something to look forward to, and that's why our mindset has to be on striving to finish this thing strong.
And that's funny. You took the words right out of my mouth. This game is a game of mindsets because, as you said, both teams have players that won't be able to return next year, and
Mm-hmm.
both teams want to send their teams out on a high note, their seniors out on a high note. So it will come down to who's striving, who's intentional, who's basically who's playing how they practice and
Absolutely.
train all year round for this one moment. And what better way than to go out, with the last game of the season against a team that is, record wise doing very well.
Yeah, they're doing outstanding. I mean, they're a team they're well coached. I tell you what, and talking a little bit about them, their quarterback, the young man, the decisions he makes, the way he carries this team is outstanding. He does a great job. He has a good group of receivers that do great things. The running back, like I said, is pretty daggone good. Their defensive line is stellar. They do a great job. Probably one of the best defensive lines that we've played all year. They predominantly rush four. They're not a big blitzing team. They let their front four get it done, and they do a good job of getting it done. And on the back end, they just wait for the catch it, and they come down. They're sure tacklers. They're fundamentally sound. Their technique sound. This is a good football team, and their special teams never hurts them. And so that's why this game is extremely important to have that mindset. So the need for the second word of the week to make sure our guys understand, because these guys, the special teams, they have not lost the game because of special teams yet, because they've always put them in good field position. As a matter of fact, the last game they played against Tennessee State, their special teams really helped them. I think they blocked the punt, set up for a touchdown, did some other things, that ran a big kickoff back or a punt return back. So their special teams are also, but they do a great job, man. This team does a great job. Eastern Illinois does a great job.
So when we talk about this week and we talk about, our keys to the game, our keys in the past, sound tackling or minimizing missed tackles, penalties, minimizing penalties, and our tempo. Consistently, the last 2 weeks, albeit one or two may not have started at the same time, but
Mm-hmm.
generally towards the end of the game, they've all gelled well together because you guys been able to have success and come out with victories. Can
Absolutely.
we talk about this week?
Well, the most important thing this week, to be honest with you, Coach, and I've told our guys, let's see if we can go out there and click on all cylinders. We haven't hit a field yet, like you said, where offense, defense, and special teams has started out fast. It's
Right.
a situation where we may go out there, we got kickoff return, we may return it to the 35-yard line, which is good, but then the offense goes and they're 3 and out. Then the defense has got to get on the field. So let's see if we can go out there and click. Everything click. Let's see if offense is out there first. We can push it down the field. Let's get 3 points or let's get 7 points. Let's see if we can do that. Defense goes out there and they can get started. We can go 3 and out. We kick the ball off to them and tackle them inside the 20. So all those things. Let's see if we can get all those things rolling together. And I think if we can get our whole team, offense, defense, special teams, playing and clicking on all 3 cylinders, I think we can be a very strong football team.
And like we said, special teams wise, field, flipping the field, those things play a part. Clock management or time of possession, should I say, not clock management.
Mm-hmm.
Converting, first, third downs, getting on first downs, getting at least, where it could be second and short, not second and long, getting positive plays on first downs and not later end downs. So, and then our third, this year's quarterback, and I'm sorry, his name again, the one I
Zach Tanner.
so Zach, and Zach's been there.
Mm-hmm.
Zach came this week. He came in and orchestrated, a comeback, a touchdown in the fourth, I believe. So the team shows that, and this is what I mean about your teams, even though when we talk about our mindset, right? The
Mm-hmm.
mindset for the team in the past couple of weeks, despite injuries, they push forward. And I think that anytime in life, we lapse moments of mindset, right? But your team has shown a resiliency, regardless. And like I said, the difference is that between this year and last year is obviously the record, right?
Mm-hmm.
The record is the only difference from me that I see when I'm able to come to the games is because at the end of the day, your team fights. No matter what the score is, they're fighting. If they're losing,
I think we lost my man Pitts, or he may have lost me. But he's absolutely 100% right. Regardless of what's going on, our guys are going to compete. They're going to get after it. They're going to make sure they play hard. They're going to play for each other. And that's what they've been doing for the last 2 weeks. They've been playing hard for each other. They've been playing together. And they've been playing with great composure and great poise. And that's why I'm proud of these young men. They're going to continue to do those things and continue to fight. So I think I lost my man Pitts. So we're going to finish up with this. Colonial Cupboard. Colonial Cupboard is something that we value very much here at Robert Morris University. We're trying to get it going. We're trying to get Colonial Cupboard in the right position. So if you have any non-perishable food items, please bring them to the game. But if you can't make it to the game, try to get them up here to the second floor of the stadium. We have some cardboard boxes that you can put them into. Our guys want to collect those because we want to make sure the Colonial Cupboard is full, before the summertime comes to get these guys going. So this Saturday, 12:02 p.m. Let's go, Bobby Mo.